Okay, I wanted to do a video on what I call grout pumps, cement pumps, concrete pumps. I've trained over 12,000 people in the art of synthetic rock, and I get people on the phone that are inquiring about my training. And so if I've trained about 12,000, I bet you I've spoken to 100,000 people. I kid you not. I've been doing this since 1996, and right now it's 2023. And the first thing that people ask me is, what kind of equipment you need? And I was like, they think cement pump. And I've made so many things. This has been, since 2020. So the last 3 years, I've used it twice. And I regret using it on the rock that I did over here, the big rock. I did it for content. I wanted to, to show diversity in my training. But if you were my partner and we were sitting at the table and talking about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, you'd be raising the emotion of a cement pump, and I'd be saying, well, I don't think so. And because I have all the vast experience, I'm going to tell you to sit down and shut up. Well, no, that's not right. You're a 50-50 partner. I have to discuss with you. We have to come to a consensus and agree. And so therefore, I would be quick to articulate the cons. And there are so many more cons than there are pros. There are, like if I was doing a swimming pool, and I've hand-packed swimming pools, the guys would literally dump the mud in 4 or 5 places around the pool with a wheelbarrow down the sidewall. It would puddle up at the bottom, and we would take square shovels and throw it. And how moronic, I mean, okay, there's a point right there. If I'm doing a standard pool or even a smaller pool, yeah, I get a cement pump, but I don't want to buy one. I just called to replicate this. This company gave 3 of these to me to demonstrate them in my companies. I sold 2 of them to my distributors for $10,000 plus. That's what they retailed for, was about $10,000 back in, say, 8 is when I got it, 7 or 8. They gave it to me. I'm going to take it. No kidding. And I sold the other 2, so I made, and I'm selling it now. If you look at all that I've made by having this pump, it's been good for me. But if I had to buy this pump, and we used to do 2 things. We would take it on site, and or we would have it in the shop doing molds. And the mess, the plugging up. These red hoses are expensive, and sure as shit, you're pumping mud, and you stop for a minute, and depending on the viscosity of your mud, the temperature, the hot, does it react fast? Like we were pumping acrylicized mud, and it would kick. And if that hose gets plugged, you got to take it apart. You got to rod it to try wash it out. And it's like, what a mess. We started using vinyl, 2-inch vinyl hose that I would buy, and we would keep it to a 25-foot length and bring the molds over to the pump, not the pump towards the molds. This thing's on wheels that will roll around the shop or on the site, whatever. But if that hose got plugged, I told them, get it out of there and put a new one. We had 3 or 4 standing by, because the cost in cleaning one of these and the cost of purchasing one of these compared to a throwaway vinyl hose, and somebody saying, oh, it can't take the pressure. This thing doesn't have high pressure. There's a lot of pumps out there that do have, and I'm showing you a video right now. This was back in 20. I was in Alabama doing a big pool, and again, you got to have the gunite machine. Well, this was a 3-inch hose, and you'll see now this guy being lifted. I'm operating the pump, and I lift that boy off the freaking deck and throw him up against the wall with that hose. There are some messes, there are some dangers, there are problems with, especially the bigger ones, but even the little ones. But anyway, the hoses get plugged. You got to keep the machine moving. If you don't, then you've got to clean it out. And then once you do clean it out and you want to re-engage it, then you've got to prime it and get it going, and the mess it makes. Oh, but we put up plastic and, yeah, okay. Look at the ground. When I did that over there, those guys left the class, I had to clean up the cement. It was everywhere, from the hose falling out of the hopper when we had it just running just to keep it circulating. There's just so many things. And if you're interested in a pump and you've got a lot of volume to do it, that's good too. But I was going to get back to I just called Quick Spray. Back in, I think it was 98, I dealt with a company called, and they're actually on my DVD course, the demonstration of their pump and everything. There was a company out of Nebraska. I want to say Lincoln, Nebraska, but it might have been a different city. But anyway, Spray Tech, and they're still in business to this day. They had a pump. We bought it, and it basically would pump the cream. And then we had a chop gun. We had a boom off the pump, which kept the hose on a spring, and you could walk around the shop and spray. And at the gun, instead of this gun like this, we had the same gun, but we had an attachment on it, and a spool of glass fiber was coming to it. And on the end here, we had a chop gun. So you'd spray the cream and the chop gun, and guys would have to roll the fiber into the mud, and it was, we don't do it that way. Anyway, so we bought a pump from him, and I was talking to the lady at Quick Spray Pumps just today about what does a pump cost. They've got an 1.5 inch. This is a 2-inch, and they've got a 2-inch. Well, the 1.5 inch is 20 grand. There's no compressor with it. This thing has its own compressor, which makes me able to atomize my mud at different, spray patterns and velocities and whatnot. And all I know is the 2-inch was $24,000. That was not shipped to you. that was not created and shipped. So, you know, you're talking about like this pump that I have right now, and I didn't call Blastcrete out of Alliston, Alabama. They were people, they gave me 2 pumps. These were on trailers. These had their own compressors. These were peristaltic pumps, but bigger. And they would pump really good, and they gave them to me free of charge because I was demonstrating selling their pumps. I didn't sell them. I just said, you want a pump, call these guys. But they gave it to me free. The first one was a used one, 30-some thousand. The next one I got was 24,000. Now this is back in 2001. And I just did the video where I showed I blowed that guy. One of my customers had purchased this machine, spent 44,000 on it. Good machine, nothing wrong. Jim Farrell there at Blastcrete, good man, good company, good product. And probably doesn't like to hear what I'm saying, but I mean, if you're doing pools, if you're moving mud, you're spraying a lot of it, I could see it. But most of us don't. And even if I did, I would rent it. I wouldn't want to own it. If you own this piece of equipment, like mine's just sat here, well, I don't got no money into it. It's just paid me money. But if you drop 20 grand into it, that 20 grand needs to be working. That means that machine needs to be spraying. And if you're not working it, you're not making any money with it. Your money's just sitting there, and inflation's eating the heck out of it. And you got to make money work for you. So anyway, rent it. There are guys out there, there's rental yards, there's companies that'll come spray by the yard, let them fool with it. A lot of machines out there, there's different types of pumps. There's screw pumps, there's piston pumps, there's peristaltic. A peristaltic pump is just a hose. They call it a squeeze pump because there's rollers. There's a hose that runs like a C in here. And the mud comes in here, and then it comes out. There's a discharge where we hook our hose, and then the hose comes out. But there's rollers that squeeze the tube. That creates a suction and a discharge. So that's one material. Your mud, your sand and rock specifically, the only part of this machine that gets wore is that rubber hose. And that's easy to replace, and it's cheap. It's like $200 for a hose, and it takes about a half an hour to put a new one in. But you go into the metal type of pumps, the piston and the screw, and now you're talking about consumables in there. The wear on those parts and bearings and orifices and all the moving parts that the machine, the cement moves through it, that's more expensive, and that's more problematic. So I'm not real big on cement pumps in the first place. When I brought it out to spray that rock, my truck was probably, I want to say about 25 feet away from it, and I didn't even think about it. I hadn't ran a pump for a while. It got covered. Everything around got covered, and I probably could have put up some plastic and blah, 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 but I didn't. And, you know, all I know is you can throw a lot of mud with other means and not have to deal with the setup, the running of, and the tear down, the cleanup. If you take and the dollars that you spend, if you take other methods which are hand applied, you can do so much more with so much less, and there's no mess, there's no waste, which all again is economically analyzing here right now. But I'm going to show you some videos of the other pumps that I had, the demonstrations I had. Again, there's a time and a place for it. I don't want to jade the pumps and say, hey, they're just useless. No, they've got their place, and depending on the company and what our business model is, hey, there's a place for them. But in my making artificial rock, we thought that it was a vital necessity. What pumps are really good in doing is getting mud from point A to point B. I think these are 25 footers. I got 4 of them. I think I had 150 foot of hose at one time. Now, you're mixing over here and you got to transport the mud 150 feet. That's a good thing about a pump, is it gets from point A to point B. But on the Colorado job, we put this thing up, we got it up, we were running up a hill. I think it was a total of 75 foot of hose. And we got it all working, and we had the elevation, and that's just like adding more footage of hose, and we couldn't get it to pump. So we ended up taking buckets up this very steep incline of landscape there were some cement stairs, and we bucketed it up. And by the time I got done doing it, we got it done in a day. We could have probably done it faster with this, but the mess and everything else, I finally got back to my thinking and said, you know what? I don't want a pump. And I drug this. This thing fits in the back of my pickup. It'll fit through a door, a gateway into a backyard because it's 34 inches. Most gates are 36 and bigger. But the fact that it's mobile and has its own air compressor is a good thing. So if you have questions about pumps and your applications, get me on the phone. I give free advice and consultation on certain things. So just the phone number's in the description area, or email me. There's some pumps out there that would work. If our business model had us pumping yards and yards and yards and spraying it routinely, well, sign me up. I'll be there. But again, there's got to be that for it to be something I'm going to purchase or something you should purchase. So if you have any questions, give me a call. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, share it, like it, subscribe. I appreciate you watching. You guys have a great day. Bye.